Hello and welcome to Polly's podcast. I just finished doing a podcast with Carnivore Ron. And if you don't know who that is, you have got to head over to his channel after this and check him out. He is fabulous. He's so real, down to earth, and just openly honest about his journey. And he is an inspiration to so many. And so this is a shout out. Thank you so much, Ron. And I will post the video that we did here on my channel as well as he will on his. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Bolo collaboration with Carnivore Ron. Bolo. And today I want to talk about eating carnivore while on vacation. Because I just got back from a wonderful vacation and I stuck to the plan. And the plan is always to prioritize protein and to prioritize fat and not to prioritize anything else. So my health is based on protein and fat. And of course, appropriate amounts. I eat until I'm full, and then that's it. I enjoy the rest of the day. I did go to a beautiful, spectacular wedding, and at the wedding, I chose surf and turf for my meal at the reception, and it was just a fabulous, I believe it was a sirloin steak, and of course shrimp and some vegetables. I did not eat the vegetables because I don't really eat vegetables anymore. And I did eat the steak and the shrimp and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, for the dessert, you should know, they did something different. They served like those cinnamon rolls from Cinnabon. Ooh, they looked and smelled delicious. But they also had another option. And that option was a very small cup with berries, like blueberries, raspberries, berries. Not other kind of fruit, but just berries. And on top there was whipped cream. And it was a small one. So it was perfect. And I totally just enjoyed that berry parfait. I don't know what it's called. And I was fully satiated and it was wonderful and tasty. I really had a good time. You know, there wasn't a need to eat breakfast. What I did was I would get up very early because I naturally get up early. My body's clock is just an early riser. Sun comes up, my circadian rhythm is in tune with nature. Sun comes up, I'm up. You know, that's when you get that flood of cortisol and that flood of a little bit of adrenaline and it wakes you up. By the way, cortisol can be a good hormone, especially if you need it to wake up. And so in the morning, I would go for a walk and I would go to the local little cafe on the boardwalk or on the wharf and I would grab an espresso or a cappuccino and walk for at least an hour all over the place, of course. Just a fabulous, fabulous morning. And I would go all day and then eat a dinner at night. For two of those nights, I would say that I was at the rehearsal dinner, right? They had a huge barbecue, looked spectacular, but I had been driving all day. So I wasn't really that hungry. So I opted out of eating that barbecue dinner. Instead, I chose to have a zero drink, like a Coke Zero. And so 0 calories, really not the best nutritional thing to drink, but I treated myself to a Coke Zero and I enjoyed it. And then the next day was the wedding where I waited until dinner for the reception and I had a fabulous dinner. And then the following day after that, of course, you know, I just had, I went to a local restaurant and really thoroughly enjoyed just protein and a little bit of fat from the eggs. So overall, it was fabulous. Now, on the way home, I went wine tasting. I'd never done that before, and I really loved it. Stopped in Paso Robles, stopped at the James Tobin Winery, and did some wine tasting. And instead of having a meal, I chose to have a charcuterie board, and that included salami and pepperonis and 3 or 4 different kind of cheeses, which I purchased at the winery and was nibbling on that during my wine tasting. So it was really fun. Had a great time. Didn't need a meal after that. And overall, it was fantastic. So anywhere that I go where I can be, like at a restaurant or a barbecue or an event, I can still maintain my zero insulin or my zero insulin spike or my minimal insulin spike, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is to you, because it's different every time. For everybody, it's different. For you, it's different. For me, it's different day to day. Nothing is ever the same, is what I'm trying to say. So it could be a zero insulin spike, could be a low insulin spike, and it depends on the time of day. It depends on what we're drinking, what we're eating, our level of activity, everything. But my goal is to maintain a very low insulin spike, never to spike insulin. That's my goal, because I want to burn unneeded stored body fat for maintaining a healthy metabolic system. I did drop over 40 pounds, and I'm continuing to burn through that old stored body fat. Now, I remember I told you that I had that zero Coca-Cola that it's called Coke Zero or something. Well, it does have artificial ingredients in it, right? So those have to be burned off. So I fast until the next day, at least, 20 hours, 24 hours, just to get that out of my system and to get it out of my liver and to urinate that out or to sweat that out, whatever I need to do to get that out of my system. So everything is work. Nothing is free, in other words. Even a Coke Zero, because it's not just, it was an empty calorie, which means that it was calories. They're not so much calories as they are colors, like artificial colors, artificial flavors. I don't want those building up in my body, so I don't drink those, right? So it's probably been almost a year since I've had anything like that. So, but I wanted it out of my body, so I pounded a bunch of electrolytes. This channel is not sponsored by anybody because it's so small. And if you find any of my content valuable, please subscribe. It shows the algorithm that people are watching this and that it's valuable content in regards to metabolic health and basically like primal diet, carnivore diet, low insulin diet, the diabetes diet, the epileptic diet, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a lot of names for it, but it's prioritizing proteins, right? Building muscle. I know a lot of muscle builders and big weightlifters and athletes do this. And so whatever you want to call it, for me, it's just becoming metabolically more balanced than I was. So please subscribe because it helps the channel out a lot. I'm not trying to sell you anything, and I'm, just here describing my journey and sharing my journey with you. And I'm continuing to drop unwanted fat. And I'm also building muscle and building bone mass. So I'm really happy about that. Things are going well, and I just wanted to check in with you. So until next time, thank you for joining me on Polly's podcast. Toodles.